Hi, I'm Eric Lanask from TMC, and I'm here again with Panduit's Vineeth Ram. And Vineeth, we just talked a little bit about what's changed in the networking space and the idea of unifying the physical infrastructure as opposed to the siloed approach that traditionally we've seen. How is that impacting Panduit's strategy and what Panduit itself is doing and approaching the business?
Great. So Eric, Panduit is placing a big bet on this whole convergence of all these systems infrastructure. Our entire approach is a unified, holistic, integrated approach to the physical infrastructure. We really feel that the existing sort of piece-part approach to the physical infrastructure has been highly component-based. It's really hard to take that in terms of delivering value to the end customer, because we really are convinced that the dimension of innovation that's relevant in the market today is one that's around integration, because that's what's going to solve those problems, right? We earlier told you that the biggest challenges in the infrastructure today in multiple environments, right, are around power and cooling and space savings. Sometimes it could be vibration or noise management in the factory floor. It could be around reducing your costs, right, through increased automation. So all of these types of challenges, right, are really cross-functional, cross-discipline types of challenges. So it's really hard to make an impact in solving those problems without a holistic integrated approach. One may provide a much better product with much better features and functionality. That'll be great, right? But you know what? Most of the world has got products with good enough functionality. Why would the customer pay a premium when they've already got good enough functionality, right? So the real opportunity to drive value from a customer environment is to solve these complex challenges. And that's exactly why Panduit is taking a highly integrated approach. And we'll talk to you a little bit more about this. But what we're doing is we're really developing holistic reference architectures for the physical infrastructure across the domains of connect, manage, and automate, across all these systems, working together with our alliance partners who are industry leaders like Cisco and IBM, EMC, and Rockwell to really help customers deploy their systems infrastructure with an optimized physical foundation in the physical infrastructure.
How are you actually approaching the customers? Is it easy for you to approach customers and get them to understand what you're trying to sell, if you will, your proposition?
Yeah, this is a significant change process that needs to happen, and certainly Panduit cannot do it alone. We work closely with our ecosystem of partners, both alliance partners who are the industry leaders like Cisco and IBM and EMC. So I'll just take an example of these leaders in the industry, right? You look at IBM. IBM's biggest story now is around a smarter planet and dynamic infrastructure. Guess what? A dynamic infrastructure around systems requires a unified physical infrastructure. Cisco's story a lot today is around unified communications, unified fabric, right? And also around unified computing systems, UCS, and collaboration. Guess what? That will not work without a solid unified physical infrastructure. Let me step aside and talk about the factory floor. Leaders like Rockwell Automation, they talk about manufacturing convergence, right? Across control, computing, and communications. Again, that requires a solid foundation. So we really align very well with the sort of the strategy of leaders like these leaders, including people like Johnson Controls and other leaders as well, in terms of where they see the systems infrastructure progressing, right? So we're working closely with them on one hand. From another perspective, we have a complete ecosystem of partners who comprise both consultants, architects, engineers, contractors, installers, and system integrators, right? And we are working closely with these partners to take a different approach. We're providing with them with the education, the tools, the training to go drive that. And how are we able to drive that in terms of best practice with these partner ecosystem? Through the innovation and technology and R&D. So we work very closely from a long-term research and development and collaboration on the technology side with Cisco, IBM, EMC, and various other leaders in the industry that help us collaborate to build and optimize physical infrastructure that solves challenges around power, cooling, space, speed, performance, really to drive efficient infrastructure for our end customers. So really we have the capability to do that. So we're able to bring that to our channel partners in our ecosystem. We also work with leading industry partners. And then again, we are taking a lot of thought leadership also into the industry. We work very closely with the leading industry analysts like Gartner, Forrester Research, Frost & Sullivan, and various other leaders to start talking about why the physical infrastructure is relevant today, what kind of challenges are being sort of imposed on the physical infrastructure, and why there's a need to take a little different approach, right, which is really a unified, integrated approach to go solve that. We don't stop there. We're taking it, making real with our products and solutions, right? So we've got a whole portfolio of capability to connect, manage, and automate all these 5 systems across multiple domains, be they be data center, be they be the facility or the factory floor, with a complete portfolio of passive devices, active components, hardware, software, and now some audit, assessment, and design services as well.
We've been talking a little bit about how Panduit is approaching this new age of networking and a unified physical infrastructure, as Panduit is calling it. We've been with Vineeth Ram from Panduit, and we'll be right back. And excuse me, we'll talk a little bit about, get into a little more detail about what you mean by a unified physical infrastructure.